we started by mounting our 20 MOA rail to our action. There's 4 screws. We put Loctite on all 4 of the screws. I like to use blue Loctite so I can eventually get it off. But next we're going to start lapping these scope rings. Here we have 2 30mm bars. They have fine machined points on the end. It's kind of hard to get the camera in focus here, but these points are designed to go together and show you any imperfections in the scope rings. The one on the right is slightly higher than the one on the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those machined 30mm bars out, put our lapping compound inside those scope rings and work it back and forth, and this will get those points to eventually come straight together to where you have a true alignment. So we'll take these out. Get our lapping bar, get some lapping compound. We'll just grab some of this lapping compound out of here. We'll just put on the inside of these rings. It's pretty much just like sandpaper, and it's going to take any imperfections in it out, and we'll get the rings to be 100% true together. Let's get some of this lapping compound all the way in, all around in these rings. You don't need a whole bunch, you just need to evenly spread it around. Then we'll take this lapping bar. It's got a tapped hole in the middle. You can take this handle out and you just slide this through. What you want to do is you want to just work back and forth evenly. You want to work one way and then back the other, one way and back the other. We'll do this for a couple minutes and then we'll check them out and see what it looks like. So this process goes on for a couple minutes. You'll know that you're getting close when that bar starts to loosen up inside those rings. That means you're getting that anodizing off of the inside of those rings and you're getting a true surface. Take this lapping bar out. And can inspect it. So what it's doing is that you can visually tell when they're black like this. You can tell when it's taking the anodizing off of the rings, and you can see that it's wearing down the high spots. It looks like we have good contact all the way through. We've got it just barely wore down through the anodizing. Take and wipe that out with a rag. Alright, so what we're doing now that we got the scope rings lapped, we just want to get all these screws in here. Just barely get them started. One of the most important things when you're doing these, if there's any play in between your rail and the bar that goes across from each side of your scope ring, you want to make sure these scope rings are back against the rail. What that does is ensures that when you fire the gun, it doesn't have any chance to move back. It's already against the back of the rail. So we'll put these screws in, get them started, just with the scope just barely snug, get them all started about the same to where it snugs up on the scope to where you can still twist it. snug it up a little bit. Still a little too easy. Too tight. Right about there is how we want it. Now what we need to do is we need to take this out of the vise and we need to check our eye relief, our natural eye relief. So when we do this, you want to keep your eyes closed, close your eyes, and pull up the gun. And when you open your eye, you want that your anchor points to be the same every single time. So we'll pull the gun up, close our eyes, open our eye, and see how the eye relief is. Right now it's a little bit, I need to push my head a little bit forward to be able to see perfectly down the scope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the scope back a little bit. I'm going to close my eyes, bring the gun up in the natural position, and open my eye. See right there, we're good. I'm going to do it 2 more times. Close my eyes, pull the gun up, open my eye. That's my natural position. That's where I want to come to every single time. So now that we've got that set, we're going to put the gun back in the vise. And we're going to level the scope with the action. So I've just got these 2 levels. We're going to throw one across the action. The action on this gun is raised a little bit. So what we're going to do is go off the surface of the action. We want the scope reticle to be true with the action. So we'll get this level. Right there, it's dead on level. Then we're going to take and throw this level on the turret. And we're going to get this plumb level with that action. Right there is perfect. That scope's perfectly level. So now we're going to just hand tighten. We're going to hand tighten these screws. Just get them all the same torque while watching our level and making sure that that doesn't move. After you've got them all snug, we're then going to torque them down. We're going to torque them to 35 inch-pounds. You don't want to go too much on these because they're aluminum. So we're going to get our torque wrench, and I've already got it set at 35 foot-pounds, or inch-pounds, sorry. Oh, that's the wrong one. While watching our level, and we're going to want to go in a crisscross pattern. So I'll get that one a little snug, go back to this one, make sure it's snug. Torqued over. Torqued over. Torqued over. Torqued over. And go back through and check them all. See, we got a little bit out of that one. You want to go through and check every single one of these until they all snap on 35 inch-pounds. We'll go over here, do the same thing. We'll get it to where it's close, cross, close, close, close. And then we'll reverse the pattern. There you go. Now we look back at our level, and we're dead level there. We're dead level there. So now our crosshair in our scope is dead level with the action. So when you're out to further distances, you're your reticle's not canted one way or another. So now we're gonna put a level on this elevation turret, and we're gonna make sure everything's still level. I took the gun out of the vise so I could visually check everything. Put it back in the vise, re-level it out, re-level the scope out. Now we're gonna install an actual level on the scope so we can refer to it when we shoot. If you have a scope that you've trued up to your action, there's really no point in that, truing up a scope to your action, unless you're going to put a level on your scope so you can refer to it while you're in the field. Because at those longer distances, if you're off level, you can hit a couple inches one way or another, and at 1,000 yards, that makes a big difference. So we're going to true up our scope to our bubble level, our external bubble level, and we already know that our scope is true to the action. So once we have this installed, then we're ready to shoot. So we'll do an overview of everything. We've got Weatherby Vanguard, chambered in 300 Weatherby mag. It comes with a fluted barrel, 28-inch fluted barrel with a non-timed brake, holes in it all over the place. We've got a First Light camo stock on it, fluted bolt. We went with the Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 and MRAD. We've got worn rings. We have a Tally 20 MOA base and a Vortex scope level. We bedded the action into the stock. We bedded the bottom metal of the action in the stock. We took a little bit of that stock away right there so the barrel is not contacting the stock. We got good clearance from the barrel to the stock. Overall, I think this gun's going to do pretty good. We'll see how the first couple shots go through it, and the next videos will be on load development of this gun. So that's kind of how you put a factory rifle together to shoot long range.